John here. Here's lick of the day number 37. This is a fast picking line in E minor. As usual, you can find the tabs if you follow the link in the description below or by clicking on the screen. I'm gonna play it once slowly and then break it down. We start here on the 19th fret of the high E string. Alright, so I'm gonna show you the notes on the high E string first and the scale position that we're gonna descend down, and then show you the sequence. So you'll start here, 19, 17, 15, 14, 12, 10, 8, 7, 5, and then you go down to the B string, same frets as the E string over here, so we got 8, 7, 5, and then G string 7, 5, 4, same on the D string, and then end on 2 here on the D string. So again, and the sequence that I'm using is this Yngwie sequence that I've used in a lot of different videos because it sounds good. It's this 6-note sequence. If we number the notes here, 15, 17, 19, and we number them from left to right, 1, 2, 3. The sequence goes 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna do that from this point, and then one step down in the scale. So the only new note here would be the 14th fret instead. And you do that twice, so that's the complete first bar. So you got move down to 14, 15, and 17, same sequence. Then you repeat that again. Then the third time, we don't repeat it. Instead, we change the sequence to a descending 3 sequence. So usually I tend to go for the groups of 4 thing because I think it sounds really melodic, but also like this one on a single string. And I think first guy I heard do it really well is George Bellis. So if you haven't checked him out, you should really do that. I actually studied with him remotely in the beginning of the 2000s. He had like this course you could buy and then you got phone support. It was really cool. So I learned a lot. So just check him out. Anyway, so just groups of 3 on a single string. So you go like this. 3 notes, move down. 3 notes, move down again. All the way until you get to this position. And from this point, I kind of see it more as a descending 3-note per string scale. So basically, in my mind, this lick has 3 sections. You have the Yngwie section, then the George Bellis section, and then, I don't know, descending Paul Gilbert scale section. So, and just easier for me to you know, keep everything in its right place when I play it. So I don't necessarily think about Yngwie and George Bellis and Paul Gilbert when I play it, but that's a good way to sort of visualize the whole thing. So again, the groups of 3 is just think in groups of 6 instead. So you basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the next group of 6 will start. So you have 3 groups of 6 going down. And it's much easier to keep track of. And also you can sort of focus on the downstrokes here. So you go down, 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 down. It makes it way easier to play up to speed. So here's the whole thing again, slowly. And when it comes to practicing this one is fairly easy to practice. This first one is basically a picking exercise in itself, just going between the just do that a million times slowly, and then I would try to do it faster, but I would spend a lot of time just playing it at a tempo where everything is absolutely perfect. You can use a timer for this if you want, maybe put a timer on 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, and just do it. Just going for that perfect synchronization. And also relaxation in the left hand, very important. So that's much easier to do when you have a lower tempo, so you can keep all these things in mind, because when you're at like the fastest tempo you can do it, it's very hard to focus on the correct technique. You just kind of hang on and hope for the best, and that's not a great way to improve. You need to try that as well, but I would do less of that type of practice and more of the grinding, boring work, but that's what's going to enable you to play this fast and clean eventually. And for the groups of 3, I would just go. Then I would start on this one and go with an upstroke, so go. Downstroke on this one. Upstroke. And so on. And then when you come down to this thing, you can maybe just start doing initially, but then also adding the or even doing just starting an upstroke on this one and going, and then the last one. So basically you just want to connect things in different ways and then spend more time on the ones that feel awkward or just feel harder than the other ones. And this is where a metronome can come into handy, where you can start at a tempo, play through the whole thing, and then look where it breaks down. And if you can play the initial sequence at whatever tempo, but you can't do the groups of 3, well, then you shouldn't practice the group that you can play. Instead, you should focus on the group of 3, because that's way more efficient practicing. Even though you might not be able to play the first 6-note sequence here up to the tempo you want to reach, as long as you can play that faster than any other part of the thing, then you know you should work more on that part. So, and this is very hard to do for whatever reason. And I find it the same for me, because I kind of feel like, well, I want to get everything up to the correct tempo. But I found that if you really try to get around that and you just focus on the parts that are not up to tempo with the other parts, that will lift everything up to a higher tempo. So because there's a reason why you can't play something up to the same tempo as something else, and you need to address that first before you try to get the easier part up to the actual tempo. Hope this makes sense, but really give that a try though, because it's so common to see people just working on things that they're good at already. And while that will improve you a bit, you will improve much faster if you work on things that you're quite crap at. That's it for this one. If you have any questions, just post them below. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed this one and see you in the next one.